tonight's 3-game NHL slate. This is another 3-gamer that locks at 5 o'clock. I don't know why Draftkings keeps leaving off the first game. It's kind of annoying. I prefer the 4-game slates, but I don't have that kind of power. So 3-gamer starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Vancouver, Nashville, the Rangers and the Capitals, and then Edmonton and LA. Looking at the 3 matchups tonight, there are 2 teams that stand out. That's Edmonton and the New York Rangers. And then after that, you have a clump of Vancouver, Nashville, and LA. And then bringing up the rear, the team I will not have any stacks of, the Washington Capitals. So Edmonton on the road is the clear best spot going up against Talbot in LA. They've been scoring pretty well in this series, Edmonton has. Because they're on the road, that means I'm going to start with Edmonton line 2. And let me just check daily face-off here, see what we got for projected lines for line 2. Same as last game, Nuge, Draisaitl, and Warren Foegele. Nuge and Draisaitl also have power play 1 correlation, so that's probably where I'm going to start my lineups, with Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl. I might end up doing 3 or even 4-man Edmonton stacks, just kind of depends on how much salary I have left over. But Nuge and Draisaitl, where I'm going to go for my first 2 in my lineup. And then the second best team looks like the Rangers. They've just dominated Washington the entire series long, looking for the sweep today. I guess if you want to play the narrative game, this is where you say that the Capitals give their best effort, and I don't know, maybe it's a 2-1 game or something like that, or who knows, maybe even Washington gets the win. But on paper and in reality, the Rangers are just a much better team than the Capitals. Capitals barely squeaked into the playoffs. Rangers were a lock for pretty much the entire season. They're going to win this series. Just depends on how many games, and if it ends today, it ends today. So the Rangers have not really had too much trouble with Washington. I have no problem going to the Rangers there. They are on the road, which means I'm going to start by looking at New York Rangers line 2, which is Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere. And we get Panarin and Trocheck with top power play correlation, so very similar to Edmonton 2. You can get 2 of those skaters that also have power play correlation. And obviously that's always my preference, find guys that have even strength and power play correlation. So you can start with Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins. You might even be able to fit all 4 if you use some salary savers, maybe like Warren Foegele to round out your Edmonton stack, maybe Lafreniere. But Edmonton 2, Rangers 2 are the clear top spots for me tonight. Then after that, we've got a bunch of teams close together. This Vancouver-Nashville game looking really close, could go either way. And then Stuart Skinner's not a great goalie, so you can look at LA1. I have no problem with that tonight. And LA1's never super expensive. Nashville's not typically too expensive. Forsberg and Yossi are the high-priced guys. But Nashville's at home tonight. Casey DeSmith played really, really well last game. Nashville outshot them like 30-something to, I think, 12 shots. Vancouver managed 12 shots last game or something and somehow got the win anyway. So that always makes me nervous. But I would imagine if they play that game, 10 times over, Nashville wins most of them. If you outshoot your opposition by 20-plus shots, odds are pretty high that you should get the win. So thinking Nashville probably wins tonight, even though Vancouver scores out a little bit higher in targetability. Casey DeSmith's playoff numbers are smaller than the rest of the goalies because he just started. Last game was his first start, although he played a good chunk of the game before that. No, maybe DeSmith started 2 games. But anyway, his sample size is smaller than the rest of these goalies here. Speaking of these goalies, none of them are confirmed, although I would say these 3 and Skinner are pretty much locks. I guess there's a world where Washington goes to Darcy Kemper just as a last-ditch desperate hope to change something in this series. Kemper was significantly worse than Lindgren in the regular season, though, so if they do that, it won't do anything except for make the Rangers an even better target, in my opinion. And I guess there is some possibility that they go to Rittich in LA, although I doubt it. They're only down 2-1 in the series. I would expect Talbot in goal for LA. if we do need to save some salary, so on Money Puck, which is where I go from, where I'm looking for shot blocking targets, they've updated their graph so you can just sort by playoffs now. Now, this is both helpful and also a little redundant because these opponents are playing each other. So Carolina is playing New York Islanders, so obviously if they get their shots blocked the most, then their opponent blocks the most shots. But as we get more rounds in the playoffs, this will be a nice tool to find teams that are in a good spot to get the 3 block bonus. So for today's games, Desjardins is really interesting. He's min salary. He plays for Edmonton, who they're the top offense on the slate, so he has an outside chance of somehow accidentally getting a point. But he's also hit the blocks bonus in every game of the series. And again, at min salary, if you're getting the blocks bonus, you're happy with that. And then you get a little icing on the cake with him being on the team with the highest target ability. So he'll be on the ice maybe if something happens, a puck goes the right way. Who knows, he could get an assist or something. And then you're feeling really good. If you've been watching throughout the playoffs, Fehervari has been pretty much on my list every game. He has 2 points in the series. He's hit the blocks bonus in, I think, all but one game. In that game, he had 2 blocks. So he's just someone that I've liked this series, and he's pretty consistent. You've got a chance at the blocks bonus and apparently a chance at a point with the way he's playing. Keandre Miller for the Rangers, they've been blocking a lot of shots against the Caps. He's not too expensive. You can go to him if you'd like. But $2,500 for Desjardins is pretty enticing. So my general thought for tonight, get some Edmonton 2 and New York Rangers 2, maybe Desjardins, and then round out with either more Edmonton or Rangers guys to make those 3 or 4 man stacks. And then you can go to, I would say, Vancouver or Nashville, either one of those. Don't feel quite as good about LA, feel terrible about Washington. So I think that pretty much covers it for tonight. The model's linked in the description down below. If we do get a change in goalie, something weird happens, I'll update it so we can see how that affects the offenses for tonight's slate. Good luck, everybody.